Hey guys, it's Mike. Welcome to one of my all-time favorite recipes and definitely my favorite food item in the world. The name of my channel, Dumplings. And this dumpling recipe I absolutely adore. And it's not a very common ingredient we're using to make these dumplings today. There are a lot of dumplings out there, but the most common meat ingredient for dumplings is pork, because you want your dumplings as juicy as possible, and pork of course has the most fat content. So when it renders, when it boils, it heats up, the fat translates to juiciness. So pork is the most common dumpling ingredient in Chinese cooking. I'm cooking with a vegetable ingredient that is not very commonly used in Asian cooking. We're gonna use dill. The Chinese name for dill sounds glorious. The name is Huixiang, which literally means that the aroma hits you again and again. It's such a beautiful name for this ingredient. Put this with pork inside a dumpling and you will have one of the most fragrant, aromatic, delicious Chinese dumplings you will ever bite into. And today I'm going to show you how it's done. And guys, again, with all my recipes, I tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. Making dumplings, it might seem difficult. It is not. It's just a really fun experience that's shared among friends and family, and even now I would even have dumpling making parties where my friends would get together, we'll make some dumplings, you know, make a whole day out of it. It's really an experience. So I do encourage you, if you want to make this really fun, I'm going to teach you how to make the dumpling wrappers. It's not awfully difficult. You know, do it with your family, do it with your kids. It's such a great bonding experience. I mean, you'll see, just like how the dumplings bond together, so will you. I'm gonna be using 2 cups of all-purpose flour for the dough and water. That's really all it is for dumpling wrappers. The filling, 2 pounds of ground pork, and this is 70-30, where 30 being the fat content. 8 ounces of dill. Fresh dill, make sure you dry it out so it's not wet. Grab a little bowl and a teaspoon of Chinese peppercorn goes in, and add about a cup of water to it. You let it sit there and let the peppercorn soak in the water, because that's going to go inside our filling, and I just want to get that started right away while we're making our dough. 2 cups of all-purpose flour goes in. You're going to put in about a little less than 1 cup of water, and you're going to use lukewarm water. Never pour all the water in here at once and start mixing. Don't do that, okay? We're going to add a little bit at a time. Make sure you're stirring in one direction only. When you're stirring in one direction, you're kind of stretching out the ingredients. So whether that's dough or meat or anything else, you're stretching it out, making it have a little more body, a little more bounce. But when you stir all of a sudden in the opposite direction, you kind of break everything up. Food, just like people, they want nice bodies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're gonna do this for about 8 to 10 minutes. I think this is good. Wrap it up and let it sleep for about half an hour to 40 minutes. There's my good little dough boy. We have to get rid of the stem. We're only gonna use the leafy parts. That's a satisfying crunch. And if you didn't smell the aroma before, you're gonna be hit by it now. And here you wanna dice it up pretty fine. Take your pork, 3 or 4 slices of ginger into my meat. A couple tablespoons of cooking oil. Just gonna drop about a teaspoon of peppercorn inside. Basically what we're doing here is we're adding some nummy flavor to the dumpling filling, and at the same time we're getting rid of that porky aroma, the bad kind, the kind we don't want. When you see smoke coming out of the pot, it's pretty much good to go. Scoop out the peppercorns, pour the burning hot oil over the ginger. 1 teaspoon 5 spice, a teaspoon of the Chinese white pepper, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of the garlic powder, couple teaspoons of the oyster sauce, tablespoon of the shaoxin wine, a teaspoon of the chicken bullion powder. If you want your dumpling to be not all that salty, or you want to rely more on your dipping sauce, you can pretty much stop here. Just add a sesame oil. I'm gonna add an extra half a teaspoon. I just want my dumpling to have a ton of flavor. A couple teaspoons of the sesame oil. And again, we're stirring in one direction only. After you stir that in, take that cup of peppercorn water that we made before. We're gonna take this water and we're gonna add it again, not all at once. Add and stir. And you're gonna start to see, you see how like the meat right now, it's sort of still kind of like in the ground pork form, but you start to see like how it's kind of getting a little more gooier, a little more slimier, and that is due to the moisture. And we want to make it so that it's pretty much gooey mixture. Not too gooey, but we don't want to see the individual pork pieces either. All right, when you're pretty much got it mixed, we're gonna add in the dill. Ooh, P90 dumpling. Woo. Now add in your dill. And if you haven't got a good enough workout before, do it again. See, people always ask me, like, hey, why are Asians so skinny? I'm telling you, we don't work out. It's all about the dumpling making. Okay, that is pretty much done. Take out a fistful of dough, roll it out. And we're gonna basically cut these into, the size of dough should be basically like the upper portion of your thumb. That's how small you want each to be, really small. You don't need that much dough to make a dumpling, unless you're making like a huge dumpling. Roll these around in the flour on the table so they don't stick together. Because I want small wrapper, thin wrapper, big old chunk of filling on the inside. I want a dumpling like I want my future wife to have a lot of substance. Know what I'm saying? To be very transparent. You get the idea. And squash it like a bug. Make it as round as possible and make sure it's covered in flour so it doesn't stick to your thumb. Grab onto it, 3 fingers, your thumb, hold it right here. And we're gonna roll and out. Roll and out. Turn, roll and out. Turn, roll and out. See what I'm doing? Nice and easy. And make this as round as possible. Sometimes it's not going to be perfectly round. Not a big deal. We'll work with it. But I like to make my dough pretty thin. And there you go. About the size of your palm. Right here. Leave the middle a little thicker because that's where all your support is for your filling. But you can leave the outside edges really, really thin. So when you're rolling it, you're really only rolling sort of the outer perimeter of the wrapper and getting that really, really, really thin. Take some filling. And there's a couple ways to fold it. You can do the traditional way, which is really, really, really simple. Just go over, squeeze the top, and then just work your way down. Oh, kind of messed this one up a little bit. It's okay. It's just dough, we can play with it. Seal it, give it a nice squeeze all around. And there you go. You need a test dumpling. You know what a test dumpling is? It's basically the Christopher Columbus of dumplings. You gotta make one, boil it, make sure the flavor's okay, because if not, you're gonna have to add and readjust the spices, maybe the saltiness of your filling. While we're doing that, we're gonna make our dumpling dipping sauce. 1 part soy sauce, equal parts Chinese vinegar, and my homemade hot oil, and a splash of sesame oil. Dumplings going in. Absolutely perfect dumpling. Super juicy. Look at all the juice that's in here. That's from the melted pork. Oh my God. The aroma from the dill mixed with that fatty pork just creates the most harmonious dumpling. Wow, guys, you don't need any other dumpling recipe ever. Use my dumpling recipe. You will love it. Again, if I could do it, you could do it. Such a traditional dish. And trust me, this will be better than probably 99% of the dumpling restaurants out there. I'll put my dumpling against pretty much anybody out there. I would. It's that good. Not even kidding. Follow my recipe, not too hard. Work on the folding thing, but really, the taste is all that matters. Like, you don't need to make it look extravagant or anything like that. Just fold them together. It's gonna be fine. Again, make the dough as thin as possible. Just make the bottom a little thicker so nothing leaks out. But make the outside, especially the sides that connects together, make that as thin as possible. And the great thing about this will probably make like 50 or so dumplings, 60 maybe. Can't finish it, freezer, next day, fry it up, boil it up, whatever you want. You can't never have enough dumplings. Dumpling is like the best backup food ever. It's like whenever you need it, it's there, and it's yummy, and it's gonna make you happy. All right, go try it for yourself. Let me know how you like it. Thanks so much for watching. Until we cook again, see you later.